This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 142, Reader Case Study. This Guy Doesn't Need My Help, by Mr. Money Mustache of MrMoneyMustache.com.
Get ready to maximize your potential with Optimal Finance Daily, the podcast that brings you the best content in personal finance 5 days a week. Your optimal life awaits. Now here's your host, Dan Warren.
Welcome back to Optimal Finance Daily, where I read to you from some of the very best personal finance blogs on the planet. And today's post is one of the many case studies that Mr. Money Mustache does, where he takes reader emails and then responds to them. They're very fascinating, but often pretty long, and include images, so they're difficult to read here on the show. But this one does work for our format, and it's a nice inspirational case study for you, and actually a great testimonial for Mr. Money Mustache, as you'll hear. But that's enough of the preview. Let's get right to the post and start optimizing your life. Reader Case Study. This Guy Doesn't Need My Help, by Mr. Money Mustache of MrMoneyMustache.com. It's been a while since we did a reader case study here on Mr. Money Mustache, although that is not for lack of submissions. The email box is more vibrant than ever. There are problems to be solved and 108 draft articles waiting to be finished and published. But I've got a really fun outdoor project on the go right now, which is keeping the blog work a bit sporadic for at least another week or two. Luckily, people are out there solving their own problems while I'm away, and I thought you might get some inspiration from it as well. Check out this recent story sent in by a reader we'll call JJ. Title: Big Fan, Free Book. Quote, MMM. I've always considered myself pretty financially savvy. I'm a CPA and CFO of a company, as well as relatively frugal. While all my buddies were out buying huge homes and new Range Rovers, I was the guy who maxed out his 401k and saved 30% to 50% of his income. Not that it was all that hard. Like you, I was blessed with a good salary, but still, I thought I was way ahead of the game. Then I started reading your blog. Was it motivating? In the last 9 months, I have dropped my annual spending from 100k to 35k, a story in itself. Bought 2 rental houses, rehabbed them myself. Paid cash for everything, working on finding number 3 now. Bumped up my Vanguard investments. Negotiated an arrangement to work part-time from home. I hated going to work every day. So now I make half the money for about 15 hours of work with no 30-mile commute each way. Dropping my expenses down to 35k was key to this. And I'm getting tons of offers from my connections to do other work. Like you say, even in semi-retirement, opportunities to earn income just find you. I bought personal medical insurance through Blue Cross for $140 a month. Thanks for the article about that. Bought a used hybrid bike, Trek 7.2 FX, on Craigslist. Started biking regularly to the store, local parks, and the lake. Sold a ton of crap on Craigslist. Sold car number 2, actually a used Dodge pickup. Why would I have 2 vehicles? Jeez. Sold a vacation property that I never visited. Used the proceeds to purchase rent house number 2. While the vacation property actually appreciated, a huge opportunity cost here. Tweaked my credit cards, canceled any with fees, got a couple with reward points. I will likely quit the job in the next 6 to 9 months and retire. It took reading your blog to realize, if I just stop spending so much, even though I can afford it, I don't have to work much longer. I feel like an idiot. So thanks for the push to cut back my spending and get off my ass on the rent houses. I've been looking at residential investing for 7 effing years, but just never found the time. They're now a key part of my early retirement plan. Dallas is a great area to invest. I spent 60 to 65k on the last 2 houses, 3-bed, 2-bath, put 20 to 25k in rehab in each one, plus a lot of sweat equity, of course, renting them out for $1,400 to $1,500. A no-brainer. Let me know if you'd like to see some before and after pics. I'm kind of proud of it. Other details. In a relationship, 1 young child in a household of 3 in a high-rent area with great schools. Anyway, I digress. The reason I'm emailing is about a book. I notice you have an MMM recommendations section, but I don't see this book on there. Beyond Wealth by Alexander Green, The Roadmap to a Rich Life. Dude, this book is awesome. A few quotes. Quote, I feel strongly that everyone should strive for some measure of financial freedom. You can't reach your potential or live life to the fullest if you spend your days swimming in concerns about money. End quote. That's in the introduction. Page 30, on trust. Trust is something to be built up, protected, valued, cherished, and carefully preserved. It is the one thing that changes everything. Page 31. On greed. Quote, our nation has a happiness fetish. Much of economic misery we see today is due to the unbridled pursuit of bigger houses, fancier cars, and more exorbitant trips. The lure of consumer culture and an obsession with more is precisely what keeps so many from contentment. Page 35 on personal freedom. Quote, freedom, after all, is not the absence of responsibility, it is the absence of restraints imposed by others. To be truly free, however, we must generally impose restraints on ourselves. That often means delayed gratification, or settling for less, or simply doing without. Page 36 on keeping up with the Joneses. Quote, stop regarding life as an ongoing competition for social status. Opt out of the game, even if everyone else seems to be playing it. He also covers topics such as negative visualization, decluttering your life, the importance of reading, going without TV or listening to the news, having a wealth of interests, music, etc. A very Mustachian book, in my opinion. End quote. Needless to say, this email made me very happy. I am highly impressed with JJ and with the many other people who have made similar changes. Let's just revel in those numbers for a minute. He went from spending $100,000 per year to $35,000 in less than a year, all while increasing his general life satisfaction. And meanwhile, he increased his passive income from rental houses by over $30,000 per year. Even after slicing his employment income in half, he is far wealthier now, since at this end of the spectrum where you already have more than enough, spending is far more important than income, no matter what the earn more so you can spend more gurus will try to tell you. Although I feel the message of this blog is applicable to all income categories, people like JJ are really at the core of my target audience, those who earn a solid amount but are spending far more than they need to, thus dooming themselves to decades of unnecessary alarm clocks and traffic jams just because they never took the time to step back and ask, is there another way? Thanks for writing, JJ, and may your former coworkers be jealous enough to learn from your example. You just listened to the post titled Reader Case Study, This Guy Doesn't Need My Help, by Mr. Money Mustache of MrMoneyMustache.com. And hopefully that post today was inspiring for you. It really shows what we're capable of if we just set our minds to something. Now, if you are enjoying our show and want to help keep it going for as long as possible, there are all sorts of things that you can do, big and small, that will make a huge impact. So we put together a list over at oldpodcast.com. Just look for the How to Help page, or you can go straight to oldpodcast.com/support. We greatly appreciate it. And that's it for today. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in 24 hours where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this podcast, but also Optimal Living Daily, the show where I read to you from even more blogs covering finance, productivity, minimalism, personal development, and more from incredible bloggers like Derek Sivers, Zen Habits, Mark and Angel, The Minimalists, and all the ones you hear on this show too. So if you enjoyed today's episode and like taking amazing blogs on the go, come on over to Optimal Living Daily and subscribe to that one too. And together, we'll start optimizing your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Finance Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com, that's OLDpodcast.com, for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.